Human. I'm one of the students that started the Texas Students Against the Death Penalty. I was supporter of death penalty. I thought if you kill, you should die. At the same time, and Iran competes with Texas to execute more people as possible. So there's a competition going on to execute more people every day. And since the time I came here, at first I had a good idea about death penalty. After I started doing research, checking the records, then I found the system is not working, and it can let the government to execute an innocent person.
Cooper, convicted back in 1984 of the slaying of 3 members of the Ryan clan, and a visiting family friend, was also charged with stabbing an 8-year-old boy, but luckily the child survived. Why lucky? Because Joshua Ryan saw who attacked him, and upon recovery told police that it was 3 white or Latino men who slew his family, his friend, and tried to kill him. When young Josh saw TV news accounts of the attacks, he turned to a cop who was with him and exclaimed, when the picture of Kevin Cooper was flashed across the screen, "That wasn't the guy who did it. It was 3 Mexicans."
Hi, my name is Ambreen and I'm from UNT in Denton. I'm here at my spring break because I think it's really cool, and I'm really for the abolishing death penalty, and I like the group that are here, we're doing really good, and we're going to go out to our schools and communities and spread how bad death penalty is and how we can abolish it.
My name is Byron. I'm an intern with the Texas Moratorium Network. I'm here with everybody helping out to prepare for the rally this afternoon. And so we just got finished taping together a whole hell of a lot of boxes, and now we're waiting around. We're about to move down to the Capitol.
Basically what the boxes represent is the Houston Police Department Crime Lab threw out 280 boxes worth of evidence that could have proved that these people were innocent, that got sent on death row, and they were executed. So that's what the boxes represent.
Moratorium! When do we want it? Now! When do we want moratorium? When do we want it? Now!
My name is Leticia Vandepute. I'm State Senator for District 26, and I support a moratorium on our executions. And number one reason is that it is not applied equally. With so much at stake in a person's life, we know that to date there has been tampering with some evidence and not clear, particularly in the Houston area, on the type of evidence and the DNA lab. How can we be certain that we are executing the right person?
Governor Perry, you can't hide! We charge you with homicide! Governor Perry, you can't hide! We charge you with homicide!
I think it's pretty even if they do it. I mean, although it's probably not the best thing to do. I mean, but I don't know of another way.
I'm Jerry Jong-hyuk Kim. I'm from South Korea, and South Korea also has a death penalty. And so yeah, I'm studying here, but I feel like it's the same to working here to try to abolish death penalty. It's the same contribution to Korea.
What do I think about the death penalty? I think it's inhumane. I think that it costs too much to prosecute death penalty cases, and I figured let's just have God sort them out at the end.
Governor Perry, you can't hide! We charge you with homicide! Governor Perry, you can't hide! We charge you with homicide!
For example, if there is a mad guy, he insists he's a dog, but we know he is a human, then do we need to treat him as a dog? We need to treat him as a man.
Well, my opinion on the death penalty is that we should have it, you know, and utilize it. There are instances where somebody should pay for the crime that they committed.
The one thing that's certain in all of this is that we have more and more people who are now showing up in our system as having been actually innocent for the crime in which they've been incarcerated. Some of them have gone through and gotten out, but I'm afraid to tell you also that some of them have actually gone to their death on death row. And so one of the reasons that I think we have to have, and just have to have, a moratorium is because our system is clearly broken. a broken criminal justice system that allows innocent people to get all the way through the system to be put to their death is certainly a problem, not only for me, but I hope it's a problem for every reasonable thinking Texan.
Hi, I'm Chloe, and I live in Austin, but I go to school in Ohio, and I came down for this thing, and I think the death penalty is disgusting. No one should die, so I'm ready to fight it.
I'm Gabby, and I'm from San Antonio, and I'm here because I think it's wrong to show people that killing people is wrong by killing them. So that's why I'm here.
I have to do a speech to you, I think, today. However, I'm a little worried to see what happens. I'm just going to just talk about the spring break, anti-death penalty spring break, and then about since I'm from Iran, about the Iran and Texas, which I believe Texas is worse than even Iran on the human rights and on death penalty. President Bush always talks about human rights everywhere, freedom, everything, but he himself executed more than 100 people when he was the governor of Texas. I go over there.
You can say, I challenge you all to get up.
I challenge you to, since we all gave up our spring break, you should get more active, become an activist for benefit of Iran, because you don't know, someday you can get into death row since even if you are innocent.
To give up our spring break to come out here. Okay, I'm reiterating. And since we were willing to come out here and give up our spring break, surely you, as a citizen, as a voting citizen, as a taxpayer, can get off your butts, or don't say butts, but can get off your butts and do something about the death penalty.
True, but you should talk about, remember how they were talking about the different movements, and slavery was once people thought, oh, it's not even going to be abolished, like it's going to be forever. But
yeah, with your help, we can go and abolish, or at least put a moratorium on execution in Texas. A lot of people say it's not going to happen or it's very hard, but just seeing the history of U.S., many people say it's civil war. They are not going to win civil war. Many women say they are not going to get the right to vote. Many African Americans say they are not going to win the civil rights movement, which all happened. So hopefully we are going to get at least pass a moratorium on execution in Texas very soon.
They say death row! We say hell no! They say death row! We say hell no!
Hi, my name is Delia Perez-Meyer, and I am here today because I am staunchly opposed to the death penalty, and the reason is because I have an innocent brother on death row. Since he's been there for 7 years, we've had a confession from the railroad serial killer that you may be familiar with. His name is Angel Maturino Resendez Ramirez, and he has a lot of other aliases. So he has confessed to murdering these girls in Austin, and I've spent the last 7 years, trying to find someone to help us to take a look at this case. And so far, I've spoken to all kinds of prosecutors and the police and the Department of Public Safety and all the people that did the DNA testing for him, his legislators, the senators, representatives. I mean, I've gone to the FBI, I've gone to everybody that I can think of that was involved in the railroad serial killers case to see if somebody could help us,
Well, my name is Les Breeding. I am originally from Amarillo, Texas, and have lived in Austin for about 12 years or so. And I think that there's just no way to make the death penalty in Texas work. It's supposed to be for the worst of the worst. Whenever the Supreme Court reinstituted it, that's what they said, for the worst of the worst. And essentially, it's just for the poorest of the poor.
Some of the terrible, terrible crimes we've had in recent years, I really have become really seriously in favor of the death penalty.
I am the mother of Juan Javier Cotera, a 25-year-old graduate student, and the surrogate mother of Brandon Shaw, a 20-year-old UT student, both of whom were murdered on July 1st, 1997 by two juveniles who are now serving consecutive 40-year prison terms for the killings. Our family did not ask for the death penalty for the 2 juveniles. First of all, both of us knew that our sons were against the death penalty. And I say this is a very important values question and something that I urge parents to clarify as your kids are growing up, because you too may someday be faced with a decision as to what to do, and you need to know in your heart where you are and where your children are. Recently, we've had a small victory. The juvenile death penalty was declared unconstitutional, and I would have hoped that we would have taken a leadership role in abolishing the juvenile death penalty in our own state. Unfortunately, we did not do so, but fortunately, we at least have joined the civilized nations in this planet and have abolished the death penalty for juveniles. And I think it's because we were left alone with Somalia as the only other nation in the whole wide world that executes juveniles. It's so shameful in its own fact.
As someone who has actually taught at the college level, I think that is our next generation of people that are going to be making the decisions. You guys are going to run for office. You all are going to be our next senators and our next decision makers and lawyers. And it is just important that you guys are aware that we've had a broken system for 10 or 20 or 30 years that we've ignored, and that now it really is time to stop the death penalty, put a moratorium on it, put a study commission, study some of these cases of innocence. 117 men have been released from death rows. That's a lot of people, a lot of families that were affected.
They say death row.
We say hell no.